welcome to Bella TV. My name is Jennifer, and today I am joined by actress and rising star Moretta Moss. Moretta, welcome to Bella TV.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Woo.
Of course. So you recently starred in a really adorable, exciting new movie, A Loud House Christmas. But before we get into that, I want to take it back to the beginning. Tell our viewers how you got started in acting and maybe one or two of your first roles, breaking out into the industry.
I feel like sometimes people are like, I was stepping out of the womb and knew that I wanted to be a star. And I was in college struggling, being like, what do I want to do? And a movie, like a big budget movie. I'm in Atlanta, and that's where I was in school in Athens, Georgia, and a pretty big budget movie came to town, and I was like stepped on as an extra on that set, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this is a thing here, like that this could be done. And then I auditioned, and I got kind of like a small featured role. It's in the cut clips, but it was like my first touch of movie making, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And looking back, it's kind of like stars are aligned, and I'm so happy that I had that experience. And it's just been a journey from there. I moved to LA, I studied, I trained, and did the fair amount of commercial work. And then I moved back to Atlanta because there was just such a bustling film and TV industry here. And Tyler Perry Studios is here. I've worked on a couple of his TV shows, and it's been really fun. Like going, I've learned to appreciate the journey.
Yeah. So you were in school. Were you studying acting or film, or you were doing something completely different and decided this extra role has now made me want to pursue a career in acting?
Well, yeah, I was going to school. I probably in my freshman year, like switched my major 3 times. I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. No, I'm going to be a counselor. Then I'm going to be like a journalist. And then I ended up transferring schools to be able to study acting at a professional studio here in Atlanta, but then also go to school. I think it's still very influenced by my parents at that time, and they were like, get a real major. I mean, not that I've never used it, so I don't know how real or functional it was.
Well, obviously whatever you did paid off. So you were recently in, like I said, A Loud House Christmas on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus. So A Loud House Christmas essentially is a holiday movie for the family. I feel like holiday movies become instant classics and you rewatch them every year over and over again. But this is a really cool role because you're actually bringing to life an animated character on this series. So for anyone who hasn't seen the movie or even seen the show, tell us a little bit of background on it and then also your role in the movie.
Sure. So A Loud House Christmas is based on The Loud House Family, which is an animated show on Nickelodeon. It's Emmy Award winning. It's been on 5 seasons now. So it was super fun to take a role and, this whole family, and that is already established, has like so many great, like loving fans. It's like, it's got quite a fandom there. And then take it into live action. And that was just fun because honestly, like a lot of the work was already done. The backstory is there in the animation, and then you just get to step into this fun for me, Nickelodeon mom. So I'm a mom of 11 kids. There's 10 girls, 1 boy, and it's through the lens of the boy named Lincoln Loud. And we see him, I guess every animated episode go through, his life as 1 boy in a family of all these girls, and also kind of the same thing for the Christmas movie. And it is one of those movies, I think, whether you're a fan of the Loud House, know what it is or not, you will fall in love with these characters because they are so adorable. There's these 11 kids and like a cute, goofy dad, and we just have a really fun time. And there's always something happening. So even for the adults, you really enjoy it. It's fast paced, and it's about family. And I really do hope people come back year after year and watch it.
Yeah, well, it's really cute. Can we expect more of these live action kind of takes on the Loud family? Will there be more installments?
It's got a fandom. People loved it. I loved it. I know the family that we had on set that played the family, we all really enjoyed our time together. So it's like just those what ellipses, like dot dot dot. We'll see.
Well, in addition to acting, you also write and produce. And I guess switching gears from something, family and Nickelodeon, you have a new project in the works, which I believe is like a dark comedy series, Intersection, which you
Uh-huh.
wrote, you starred in. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Intersection, it's a short form series that we shot, and I was one of the writers, co-producers, acted in it, and we hope to kind of take that and just see where it goes. But it's a dark comedy based on a fictional community in Atlanta that is going through like gentrification. So it just has how it is affected on a community level. And there's a lot of cringy moments, there's a lot of funny moments, real life, ooh, moments that you wish weren't real. I also have a real estate license, and some of it is based on, I play a realtor in it, and it's based on my heightened real life experiences, selling in like up and coming areas. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. I think it's very topical. We don't have solutions for gentrification, but we do hope that it gets conversations started and draw attention to the matter, because it is can be quite devastating on people's lives that have been, in the community, for decades.
And then where can people look out for that or get to watch it when it's, out and ready?
No, great. So we're hoping for a big festival release. So we've got so that's just kind of, again, the dot dot dot. Let's see, but it's going to go out to festivals, and then hopefully picked up for distribution. That's the goal.
Well, I love that you mentioned, starting a conversation, because as if you don't have enough on your plate, you also recently launched a podcast. So tell us about the podcast.
Oh yeah, jeez, there's so much going on. So the podcast is called Counter Parenting. I am in real life a step parent, and I stepped into this role, and I didn't really know like what I didn't really. It's if anyone is a step parent out there, I think they're going to be like, yeah, it's hard. They know it's hard. And I talk to people that know more than I do about the step parenting dynamics. Like I talked to a divorce lawyer, mental health professionals, other step parents who are doing it better than I am. And just talking to them, having conversations, creating community. So it doesn't feel so disempowering. And I don't say that to play like, oh, woe is me, but sometimes I'm in this family, and there's so much that happens within my family dynamic that a lot of times I don't have any control or power over, or even like my words don't necessarily have that much significance, because there's this other family that we're also dealing with, and sometimes it just gets a little like, I don't know, I just needed people to talk to, so that's why I created the podcast.
I love that. I mean, podcasts are huge right now. So, and I think the fact that, you picked a subject that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about, I think will really resonate with those people who are like, I need an outlet to listen to this. So that's great.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of outlets for, divorcees, parents, but as a step parent, it's a very unique role, and I didn't find the resources I needed. So that's why there's some things that I was like, oh, I wish I had known that when I stepped into this, just to have the expectations sometimes, because you're like a mom, you're stepmom, but then you don't get like quite that unconditional love coming back to you that you give out. It's interesting.
Well, good for you for sharing your story. So between the acting, the writing, the producing, the podcasting, do you have a favorite? Do you have something that you really love doing and you want to maybe pursue a little bit more?
I really love Well, I mean, it's just so nice to show up on set and like have everything done and not have to worry about, you know, the producing aspect of it. Love that. So that is, even though my ultimate goal is to write and be like an executive producer on like a story coming from me, that's the ultimate goal, because I mean, everyone has stories that they want to share, and I feel very powerful about mine. But you know, the acting thing is always on the forefront. So it's just seeing what's out there and finding the right fit.
I love that. And I love that you said, some people are kind of born into acting or know from a very young age, this is what I'm going to do. And then they go after it. But for people who, maybe are starting later or didn't realize that this is something they really wanted to do, whether it's the acting or writing or podcasting, anything, in media, in the public eye, do you have any advice for anyone who's thinking maybe I want to break out into this and I don't know where to get started, or is it too late for me to start? I mean, what would you say to them?
It's never too late. That if you have an inkling to do something creative, follow that. I feel like that is where fulfillment like thrives and makes you a whole person. And also it's how you can contribute to society and bring joy in like I said, everyone's story, everyone has one. And if you feel like yours should be told, share it with the world. That's one of your gifts. And even with podcasting, everyone is podcasting now. And I stepped into it and I was like, it's very vulnerable. It was very scary for me. But it also, I'm just kind of proud of myself for doing it, because I could have just not and been okay, but I'm really glad I stepped out and stretched myself, especially as we get older, well, not you, but me. Like I love doing things creative and expanding. And anyone who wants to do that, there's so many resources, there's everywhere on how to get started. And acting doesn't have to be fame and fortune. It can be community theater, like take an improv class, just enjoy your life. If you hear that calling, follow it.
Definitely. Well, congratulations on everything you have going on. And I'm sure we will be seeing a lot more of you, hearing a lot more of you. So let our viewers know where they can follow along, any links, where we can catch your podcast.
So you can catch my podcast everywhere that podcasts are, which is everywhere. If you subscribe and on Apple, it's called the Counter Parenting Podcast. And then follow me at Moretta Moss on Twitter and Instagram. And, and send me messages. You can go to counterparentingpodcast.com. I have a form there. If you have like questions or certain people you want to see on the podcast, hit me up.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Moretta, so much. I can't wait to see everything else you have in store for us.
Well, thank you so much. This was lovely.